Well, good afternoon. This is Coach Sherry L. Jackson, the Preacher's Coach. I serve and support women and a few brave men to fulfill their calling of preaching with clarity, conviction, and with confidence. I am also the best-selling author of the book Sermon Prep Made Easy. 6 steps every preacher should take before reaching the pulpit, and also the creator of the Preacher's Academy. And I have with me Minister Teri Gibson, and we are going to talk about, she has been with me for 6 weeks in the Sermon Prep Made Easy course, a 6-week course where I take preachers through the sermon preparation process. Welcome, Minister.
Thank you for having me here today. I'm so happy to be here.
I am so glad we have just completed our 6 weeks in the Sermon Prep Made Easy course. How did you meet the Preacher's Coach, and what made you say that's the person for me and sign up for the course?
I first saw you on Periscope, and I loved your delivery. I love the fact that your focus was on women in ministry. And I was busy watching other things, but I think I saw you about maybe 3 times. And I think maybe on the second time I saw you, I decided to get your book. Maybe the second or third time, not sure. Mm-hmm. But it didn't take me long to decide that you was going to be my coach. It didn't take long at all. And I think it took a while before I actually signed up. I don't know if I knew about it that early on. I just knew about the book. Mm-hmm. And then once you started to offer to meet with people, I decided that I would. I felt led to sign up with you, and it's kind of strange. It's kind of interesting because there's another woman on Periscope who I saw many times, more than 3 times. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was watching her for months and months on end and never was led to have her as my coach, but what she said sounded interesting. Mm-hmm. So I think that this was after the prompting of the Holy Spirit for me to work with you, to actually follow through.
So now that, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And to be willing to pay the money. I had to throw that in there because I wasn't too moved to pay, to buy a book from the other one. So,
yeah. So tell me a little bit about your ministry, your preaching. You are a preacher, a licensed preacher. Tell me a little bit about your preaching before working with the Preacher's Coach.
Well, on Periscope, I expanded my ministry because at my church, I do have the minister's license, and in my church, I teach as a Sunday school teacher. And I just felt like I needed to expand my the number of people hearing the gospel. I felt like I needed to go outside the walls of the church. And where on social media, there are people there who are looking for a word, that do want to understand the Bible, who will listen. So what I did was I offered Sunday school on social media, and to this day I do that. Mm-hmm. And also I do exhortations as the Lord led me on various topics. And I have a series called The Good Life that I have taught. I had 10 sessions to that. So that's basically what I'm doing. Basically, is teaching, preaching on
the preaching.
The preaching
is on. You say, okay, I want the Preacher's Coach because what was?
Because I felt like I wanted to know if I was doing, how well I was doing, and because I needed to get a professional opinion on sermon preparation, because basically I was doing just a lot of my stuff is just free flow, or I will study the Bible and then create PowerPoints to guide the discussion. And so sermon prep is a little different. I felt would be a little different than what I was doing. So I just wanted to take a course that targeted in on sermons to make sure to see where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to get some critique.
Mm-hmm. And so working with the preacher's coach, what was that process like, and did it reach your goal?
It showed me where I needed to work on being a little bit more diligent in my research, that I need to take more time in preparing myself for a sermon, because one thing about what on Periscope, when I do teach, I don't really like to just do a free flow with that. I really do like to sit down and do the research and read and all that. So the sermon prep helped me to streamline things a little bit more, as far as having the introduction and having my points, transitions, to work on my transition and my summary. And the timeline, like 25 minutes is a good, I was taught in the sermon prep, 25 minutes is a good amount of time to give a sermon, because I was kind of thinking about even that, because I was on here, like, I would teach for an hour and a half, and I was thinking to myself, I don't think that's good to be teaching that long. You can't hold the attention of people, and you will see people, rotating over, leaving and coming in and out. So now that I've gone through this course, I'm going to try to focus on the sermon piece being no more than 25 minutes, 25 minutes. That's it.
And what was your main takeaway? What do you think your main takeaway, and how are you going to use that as you go forward?
My main takeaway is to be organized, to make sure I have my introduction and my, I forget the word we used, outline, to have an outline, to make sure my outline is good, and that summary. And not to it's important not to use too many scriptures, not to bounce around too much. Do the research, read, get knowledge and understanding of the people who you're going to be serving, so you can address the sermon to meet their needs.
So what would you say to someone who is perhaps thinking about it, on the fence about working with the preacher's coach?
I would say, if you're serious about getting out there and preaching, as far as sermon, that sermon prep would be a good way to start, to help you understand how to approach it, and to understand how important it is to study, to show thyself approved. Because you don't want to just do things on the fly. You really want to make sure you structure things, and the preacher's coach will help you with that.
So, what was it worth it for you, these 6 weeks?
Yes, I feel like it was worth it. It was very helpful, and it showed me I need to put a little bit more work into what I'm doing, so that I won't be shallow in my sermon. Yeah.
Anything that you want to add that I didn't think to ask you?
I would say, if you're considering signing up to work with Sherry, the preacher's coach, that she is very knowledgeable about the topic. She will listen to you if you have questions. She's there to answer the questions. She's very flexible with you when it comes to the schedule, because there were times we had to reschedule, and that wasn't a problem. I don't know if there's anything else to add. She's knowledgeable, she's flexible, she's right on topic. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure to work with you. And if someone is looking at this testimonial this time and you want to work with the Preacher's Coach, I invite you to go to bit.ly/2preachnow. That's bit.ly/2preachnow. I look forward to serving and supporting you to fulfill your calling of preaching this great liberating